Yes, please start.
Okay. So, good evening, all, and thank you once again to Maven, Shabana, and the team at Maven for having me for this particular session of Consciously Positive. Um, Today, the thought was, and that was just by seeing things all around. Just thought about picking up leadership, but with a very different approach to it. And uh, you know, we'll come down the line how as consciously positive one thought about this. So I'm not like getting into what is leadership or what are the good traits or the bad traits, because I think we all are surely aware, and we have sessions and talks and our own understanding as well about all that. So just thought to pick up a subject like leadership trails. And the thought about leadership trails was to kind of uh, come out with, share some examples and all, which can kind of, uh, trails are basically, you leave your trails. It's like a footstep leaving. So the thought was to see what is the kind of flow of uh, things working out in our ecosystem, whether it is at, again, it is from all aspects, whether it is at a country or a government aspect, or as an individual household aspect, or in a corporate profile approach lifestyle. So I'm sorry, I have kind of prepared certain slides which are like very, it's an image where slides, but for some reason, I'm not able to kind of connect my laptop to the WhatsApp and show those slides. But nevertheless, we'll carry on. So the thought here is to see the leadership trails and kind of look at what is good, because it's not that everything would be incorrect or going the wrong way, but it's more about seeing the good, the bad, the ugly, and what are kind of our takeaways from it, because we do come across reading a lot of books and all about this is a good leadership trait, or we have coachings and all where we talk about what are the good leadership traits and all. But here the thought was that no matter so much of uh, things are there, why don't we just pick up the real time flow of things happening. And what I had put in here was like a very simple screenshot where this was all about how an individual had no plans, and the person was out in the woods, following a sannyasi life, and then went on to, be picked up by a call because he was a trained software engineer to address an issue, and how like living his life in forest, he moved on to hardcore, the IT capital of US, and from there he went on to make a huge company with a very relevant and purposeful uh, product coming out, and that's how his life transitioned. So likewise, that's one way of, I'm trying to begin with showing certain examples of the leadership trail. So this is one kind of stuff, and as I said, the good, the bad, the ugly. The other one is about an organization called Zeta Farms. Now, Zeta Farms, it says, you say money doesn't grow on trees. Think again. So, what is Zeta Farm doing? It's working towards reviving the agriculture economy. And it believes in steering things different. We increase income and productivity in the agriculture field by strategically diversifying crop plantation and practicing different types of farming. So I've just picked up certain examples. So now this is one kind of an organization, and obviously you have leader to lead it, the founder. So this is one example again of the kind of vision or the mission this organization and its leaders kind of carrying forward. And it talks on its company website that it's a family. So it's not an organization, it's not a company. It says that it's a family. Then there are a couple of other examples, like you have a company in Bangalore which has turned 44,000 chip packets into benches for school kids in the social who were sitting on the floor. Now, so this is, again reflecting a particular kind of work and a particular kind of leadership, correct? So the objective behind these slides was to show you the variations of the leadership trails. Then there's an entrepreneur who's helping women in Ladakh reclaim barley farming. Likewise, I put a screenshot where it talks about various kind of individuals, startups, people who are doing various kinds of work, but the kind of business or the kind of company they have started, the startup, is into very, very the vision, the approach of that organization and the work which they are doing is it's a work which is growth with purpose. It's addressing an issue, and it's not adding to the it's not adding adversely to the human environment and our culture ethos. It's not derailing it, but it's either working towards improvising it or trying to see how it there is a reuse or a recycle. So that's the kind of work through these examples. uh, One is trying to showcase the leadership trails of these organizations. Now I come to the other part where I was looking at, and it says, I'm just reading the headlines. It says startup scams in India, how fake valuations and fraud. SEBI uncovers 288 crore scam of Gensol engineering. Blue Smart scam, 850 crore fraud that shook Indian startups. Then there is a post by Abhishek Kumar on LinkedIn, and it says that 80% of the startups in India are fraud, said one of the panelists on a TV debate. The 5 things of these startup founders do is buy themselves Lamborghini. The 262 crore scam proves there is some truth in it. So basically, what it's saying is that it's showing another kind of leadership trail, the kind of companies these are, and the kind of work or the kind of vision or the kind of uh, value systems, the kind of ethics, the kind of leadership they are driving. So that's how it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Then you have, a headline which says, it is a couple of days back headline, HDFC Bank MD and CEO named in alleged fraud linked to Lilavati Trust. We had the plane crash, the unfortunate plane crash yesterday, right? All of us are all humble prayers. May all the departed soul rest in peace, and all the family members get the strength through this hour of crisis. But there is a headline which says that a year before Ahmedabad plane crash, whistleblower Boeing 787 Dreamliner flaw claim. Now, when I read this article, there's a very clear paragraph in that, which I had put on the slide, where there's an employee which has highlighted last year that how the Boeings is using certain, uh, the whatever the things inside the plane, and to cost cut, for the better ROI, they are not of quality. And he raised his voice against that. So he was transferred to another department. Now, in this context only, this ugly and very devastating thing which happened yesterday, there is a Twitter tweet by a guy who says that 2 hours before I was there in this plane, and I tweeted about nothing working properly. Contact me to get more details, but no action was taken. Now, I'm sure we all, as individuals in a capacity, it is this one incident, right? But we have to learn. That's what everything in our life is for. It is not for criticism. It's not for fights. It's not for pulling each other down, but it is all about to address, right? That's what leadership is, to look at the long-term perspective. Where is the maintenance of the flights, the planes? Where is the leadership where the money which is being spent on making lavish airports, lavish statues, vis-a-vis the kind of maintenance and the kind of staff which is being put into, and what is the kind of training, what is the kind of thought process, the vision, the passion which is being transferred to them on ground. Likewise for the passengers as well. So it's not like a one-side story. And I think the leadership is not just in context to corporates or work. The leadership aspect is in all aspect, right? There is a leader within all of us, right? So likewise, there are other examples where there is this Blue Smart, the taxi service company, which had a 550 crore scam reported. Zepto is like a Blinkit. It delivers you food and services like in minutes. And recently there was a crackdown, and it was reported, and there are images that how completely rotten and in completely unacceptable environment things are kept, and they are being supplied when you give a call that I need this on an app. So this is another kind of leadership trail which we are seeing, right? There was a headline around 3-4 months back about killing of a health insurance CEO. That drew the attention of the US over the frustration of the people on denied claims. Health insurance is being sold like anything. I'm not getting into, I have my own points over there, but I'm not getting into the particular business. But this is a business and it is being sold today with a feather on a cap. Is it something to be kind of so upfront about? And what is the on-ground repercussion of that? So there was a LinkedIn message, and again, there's a news on this: startup scams in India, how fake valuation and frauds are hiding the truth. So these were the couple of slides of the news which I wanted to share and show the leadership trails. Now you saw the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Now, what are the takeaways from all this? So I thought, why don't we pick up certain leaders which have proved their mettle on ground. So they have not just done the 30,000 feet talk, but they have they have shown that on ground. And yes, Ratan Tata for sure was one of them, but he being not there. So, I've another one, I've put his quote, which is, Suresh Narayanan, and he's been the long standing serving managing director of Nestle India, who had steered the companies onto the robust trajectory. And even the Nestle crisis, which the Maggie crisis happened during his tenure. And he says, lousy leadership is often the root cause of failure, of organization failure. Then he also says, within inverted commas, classical hierarchical organizations are dead, emphasizing that such structures are slower to respond to today's fast paced challenges. The other one which I thought to bring here was, so after these examples, the thought is to kind of take you at what is a thought coming to us after seeing these examples. We spoke about how there are companies in Bangalore, in Ahmedabad, in Gurgaon, which are doing work, which are considering their work as something which is to address certain issues which are harming the health of the people, harming the environment. They are addressing issues which are important to ensure good health and good lifeline of India's economy, which is agrarian still. Still 60% of our economy, 58% of our economy is on this primary sector, which includes agriculture and the allied associates of in the agriculture sector. So that was one level, one kind of CEOs and founders, and yes, then we call them as leaders. We look for them as leaders. They are in their own capacity in the organization. Then I gave an example. We saw how there are companies where they have been scammed, and yes, very startling thing which while I'm talking, it comes to me is that the ones which have been reported with scams and unethical practices, they are all been in news. They have been celebrated, they have been talked about, we all know about them. But the other category, we haven't heard about it, we are not aware of them, many of them. Some of them we are. So here I thought let's bring Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad. And Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad ji says, a leader should know how to manage failure. 90% of the leaders never develop leaders. I think they just have followers. And one of the reasons is a lot of leaders don't really want other leaders. So, this is the kind of thoughts which are being shared by leaders which are revered, and in the real sense, in the most truest sense, their work, their action, their public discourse, their the way they conducted their life talks about that. Then there is he's a very well known name in the in the coaching and the mind space, and his name is Simon Sinek, and he talks a lot and he talks very grounded and simple stuff. So he says some traits which are kind of we do see in today's leadership, and according to him, he says the leadership mistakes, which is chasing short-term wins, lacking empathy, leading with authority, not inspiration, neglecting trust, prioritizing numbers over people. This example which happened yesterday, had the action been taken, had there been a leadership guidance at an organization level, that no matter what, we should not carry on with a flight if we experience certain hassles, no matter we have passengers and we'll have to pay penalty. You had to pay this penalty otherwise as well. Look at the TCS group, which has taken over the Air India and merged Vistara with it, has announced 1 crore to each person who's lost life. So this is where this thing comes, that what is the chasing for? The short-term wins, which he says is a mistake. We all experience that also in our own individual lives. Sometimes we are running, we are reacting to something. But for what? At the end, that is something which comes under the consciously positive approach. So, while I was studying this and preparing it for today, what came to my mind after seeing this leadership trails was, for me, the key takeaways, what I felt was like collapsing value system at an individual, organization, and institution level. That is at the government and the country level as well. And we can for sure see that. Look at the way Elon Musk had tweeted. Look at their and Trump's journey. Great bonding and flashes and press conferences and great handshakes, and suddenly a backfire, spitting on hitting below the belt, and then again retracting that I'm sorry, I've done certain tweets by Elon Musk. What is the kind of leadership trail we are observing and analyzing? And what is this kind of leadership? This is even at that, very state level, interstate level, within a state. Look at within our country, the kind of conduct, the kind of communication which is today happening between parties across the table. Look at the kind of strategies, or look at the kind of approaches today's leaders are practicing and conducting within an organization. Certain things are happening behind the curtains and certain things up front. And they're all being justified in the name of various kinds of justifications, ROIs, a lot of stuff. The huge money which is being doling out to a lot of underhand driven things, or the demands to cater to government, whereas and then the company says, what should we do? We have to face this. So what do we do with, investing it in our factory, in our plants? How do we, tomorrow an airline can say, what can we do? How much do we invest in our planes? A very interesting point was that we as citizens are allowed to uh, discard our cars when they are 15 years old in Delhi. But what about the accountability of these airplanes? Same thing is with the any other system. Look at the taxi system. Look at the railway system. Look at the road system. So I think somewhere this is reflecting on that leadership trail which is going on. There was a time when we used to hear, I have not experienced it, that if a mishap used to happen, I've read and I'm also told that Lal Bahadur Shastri ji resigned as a railway minister because there was a railways accident and he was nowhere to be held responsible for it, but he resigned, if I'm correct on the name. Not much far ago, look at the government of, I'm talking about India, look at the government of Manmohan Singh. One by one, allegations were made on ministers, and Dr. Manmohan Singh's government and Sonia Gandhi's Congress led by Sonia Gandhi, made the ministers resign and made them to pay, though they have all been released now, and there has been no guilty found or any proof of corruption found against any one of them. So, what is this? And today, when there is a blatant one after the other falling of institutions, falling of systems, falling of every damn thing on the ground, but we as a leadership, we are making temples, we are putting crores over there, we are making lavish airports, lavish roads. But what are we investing in the actual things? Are we doing that? So for me, keeping this whole horizon in mind, let's talk about the family unit here also. Why should we leave that? Look at the incidences which are happening, and what is the kind of, as a as a as the senior in the house, as a leader in the house, as a parents in the house, who will be the leaders in the house, right? What today we are, what today we are giving as a grooming to the generation after us, as our children or as youngsters? What are we feeding them, both literally terms and in the literal terms? So for me, the thought was that what for me was coming out of all this was that there is a complete collapse of the value system at an individual, organization, institution level, absolute erosion of socio-economic and cultural ethos. ROIs is the bottom line, overriding all parameters of humanness. Earning money is the bottom line, whether it is me as an individual or whether it is at a startup or a company level, business level, or is it at the government level? Sensitivity, empathy, spiritual quotient, emotional quotient, IQ are all overpowered with the mantra of being street smart, managing, strategizing abilities. So these are the better words for all kinds of unethical and unacceptable ways, norms, which have which are used. And it's to cut short approaches for instant win, success, power, fame, name, money accumulation at all costs, across sectors and spheres. So it's complete bankruptcy of a visionary and a missionary zeal. Growth and success with purpose, which was, if one studies the origin of leadership at a country level, at a government level, at party level, at corporate level, at house level, just 50 years back, and you study how certain companies were made, why they started that, you realize they started it, that X was started because there was a problem in textiles in India and the citizens were not getting it. So the that founder started that textile business to bring that benefit to India and its people. That was the origin. That was the thought process. Leaders fought for the country for a thought process. What is the leadership trail today? I try to capture certain examples and kind of present that. So here, I'm not here to kind of pass a black and white judgment or a message, but it is more to show by examples what's the kind of trail going on and what is the repercussion of that. Today, we find in the railway, there is a girl who was put in on social media that she was traveling from somewhere in Jaipur, I don't know from where, to Ganganagar in Jaipur in an AC, second AC. And on the next compartment, there were people who were drinking wine and abusing, doing bad language, and there was not a single police over there. I can tell my example. 2 days ago, I had to go somewhere for a meeting. I took a taxi. The taxi man, early in the morning, is behaving in the most rude manner and is forcing me to give him more money for a 5-minute stay downstairs. And then he finally drops me midway somewhere, saying that this is what is mentioned. Now, you as a helpless consumer, you are stranded over there. You are trying to call the company Ola Cabs. Nobody is picking the call. So this is the leadership trail which I am experiencing, and I think many others who are putting it on public platform. Now, how does it impact the ecosystem, all of us? There is erosion of public trust. There is fear psychosis now. Dignity and integrity is at its lowest. Environment and humanity at risk. Collapsing systems and institutions. Instability and conflict we experience within the country, between countries, within the house, outside the house, everywhere. Reduced performance. Today, if you talk about households, most of the households, we are completely drained out. We are tired, and we all are keeping today helpers to help even in our cooking, in our daily chores, which was not in India the case. So I'm trying to give examples and references, sometimes from a household perspective, sometimes from a country perspective, sometimes from a corporate perspective, sometimes from other aspect. Damage to reputation for sure. Difficulty in achieving goals for sure. Look at all these startups, they're all gone bust in spite of raising so many funds. People putting that they're doing very good. Everybody is making a video that I'm doing so good. Join my classes, join my master classes. But then all of a sudden you realize that that person itself is struggling somewhere. I'm advertising that, I have earned so much millions, join my master class. And I'm pushing that message again and again. What does this info to me? Power struggles, transitions and power vacuums, lack of effective communication and collaboration, internal conflict and factionalism. So essentially, leadership failure visible all across all spheres globally. Negative consequences, challenges or conflicts due to poor leadership for an organization, for a country, for a unit, for a family. Lack of effective leadership or internal power struggles within a group, organization, or society. These fallouts can manifest in various ways, including erosion, as I said, of public trust, integrity, instability, value systems. The philosophy of living consciously positive brings in the essence of humanness, sensitivity, being in gratitude, humbleness, simple life, yet high morals. I'm connecting it also when we say consciously positive. I think it's very important to connect with the philosophy, which is very, very much there for India in India, which we say in most of our work when we start or when we do our prayers. I say that personally, which is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinas, which is Sabhi Sukhi Rahe Ho. This is a Sanskrit mantra which is for the well being of the world, peace, and happiness for everyone in the world, including the environment, including for each and every, even not just human beings. Sabhi, all living beings, brings them sanity, happiness, growth, and a good health. So we, I kind of brought out the leadership trails and what is happening in and around us. And finally, I thought to sum it up with how this entire series on consciously positive, and each one of us has been taking up different topics, different subjects, or many of them have also been training on certain subjects under this session here. And I just thought to kind of link it up that if even this simple philosophy or this ethos of consciously positive is practiced, I think we'll experience and witness a leadership trail which possibly was there, and it's on its, God knows which journey it is on. So this is what I wanted to talk today under consciously positive, because if we are mindful, we are consciously positive, we would have gratitude in us. We will not be reactive every time. There'll be humanness, there'll be sensitivity within us. We'll come to understand simple life, yet with high morals, high character. We'll start living the words which were earlier, a mantra for us, which is character, values, principles, ethics, which have been today traded off with ROIs, bottom lines, success at any cost, name, fame, glamour. So this is what I wanted to end up this session of today's. And if there are any kind of reactions or thoughts or points or value additions, I am all for it.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
I was wondering, it's very, very enlightening to have had this session of listening to you. You covered so many grounds, as well as contemporary ground. Sometimes I used to wonder, when it came to textiles, particularly in India, I have also come across that Jogja in Indonesia, they too have a lot of textile concerns, but they originate from India.
Okay.
So I was wondering why this situation occurs. We have textile giants in India, whereas they find that it is to their advantage to have an extension right up to Jogja in Indonesia. I was very, very puzzled about this. I don't know why.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Was it because of tax reasons, or it was infrastructure? Yeah, I mean, they are not small companies. Birla is a very huge huge
Yes, correct,
circle.
correct. Yes, yes, huge company. And I was, when I was preparing, and otherwise also because that's my, thought process. I was studying that, each of these companies which started in that era, post independence or just a little bit prior to independence, there was a huge thought process behind that. The even today, I think that is one of the reasons companies like Birlas and Tatas and Godrej are still able to hold themselves. But it is shocking to see the collapse even at an operational level of today's so-called startup companies, and the way they are being celebrated, the way the CEOs get into that attitude, and they are public platform, they are talking, they are influencing this today's generation, the Generation Z. And what is the kind of culture, what is the kind of ethos they are cultivating? I mean, there was still that message about purpose in the business of that time. They were also doing certain, in business, maybe there are certain things you have to do here and there, but still there was that basic line of survival was integrity, was care for your own people. But today it's a complete opposite of that. Yeah. I mean, when I heard about this crash, suddenly I want to make a shot on it, that nowadays when you sit in the aircraft, invariably there is a sound happening. Now, is there a check and balance over there? No, because it's every time it is heard that airlines are bleeding. Airlines are bleeding. Now, if airlines are bleeding, then why such massive airports are being made? And why our transport minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, or whoever the aviation minister is, making huge investments in making these concrete buildings? Will that save the life of the pilot and the passengers? So, where is the leadership thought process going? Where is the leadership trail going? What is the vision today? Fine, we are Hindus, we need Ram temple, because if the Ayodhya temple will not be done, then we will not be able to claim ourselves Hindus, right? But will that save the lives of the people on the ground? So what is this, what is this going on for? And we as passengers, we as consumers, we as citizens, where are we raising our button? We are flowing with it. We are also responsible. I mean, you see in the airport, people are carrying luggages, God knows how much. Do you think that the plane will also have to push itself? So that's where I mentioned about the humanness and the sensitivity. That where is that sensitivity for us as people, as individuals, for everything? It's not just the sensitivity in a one-on-one human connect or a human talk. It's sensitivity for very, very minute things. If these services are not right, why we the people just do not stop there and pull the plug? We say, oh, it's okay, hoga, chalega. Are ye to hota hi hai. So what does this show as a leadership trail? That we ourselves are gone bankrupt within, for ourselves. So I think it's very because meditation, consciously positive. We have many today sessions happening everywhere, classes happening. But where is the needle shifting? In a day, 10 flights, 20 flights, demand is there. People are demanding. Are people thinking? Is the management thinking? Is the government thinking? All. It's not one person being put on a hold, okay? It's all of us. So I just thought that, rather than, pulling any straight away saying that leadership is not good or bad, one thought, why don't we just bring in certain examples? And I just kind of put on these screenshots on the slides to show. And then I was kind of picked up certain, as I said, very revered profiles, their quotes. And then while I was going through all this thing and my own experiences where I said, I feel it's a complete bankruptcy of values and ethics and principles. It's all running towards that instant win, that instant success, that instant name and fame, and instant wealth. But wealth also to what level and to what degree and for how much? I mean, Birlas and Tatas also earned money. It's not that they are paupers, right? They also made money. But there was a sanity to their working. There was a sanity to their approach, the leadership. Same in the households today, I'm seeing that. How much our parents, how much we as seniors in the house, we are all getting scared. Our sons dictate us, they say something and we say, oh, keep quiet, we can't do anything. If we have money as senior citizens, we say, okay, we'll leave the house and we'll stay in a senior citizen home. We have money. Is this what the trail should be? So that was what I thought for today, and it was wonderful. But textile, what I little bit I remember when I was reading is that textiles was started by this company because in India that the it was being imported and it was very expensive, and that's how they thought about getting into it. And they started the mills in Bombay, which was the oldest one. But I don't know the this reference which you mentioned to me. I have no context on that right now.
It is because my Sambandhi is in textile.
Acha.
So he had, of course, an expatriate life for my son-in-law in Yogya. So I was puzzled. Why would my son-in-law be raised there? I mean,
Okay.
I've been to India, I've been to Indonesia, I've been
Yeah.
for some reason, I'm absolutely fond of India. I don't know why. I'm fond of Indonesia also. But I wonder when I see my son-in-law, whether he really truly imbibes what our forefathers actually thought of in terms of compassionate capitalism. He's a
Yeah.
capitalist, but
Correct.
I don't find there's much of compassion there in the capitalism he practices. He calls himself an outsourcer, which is fine. I was nodding my head because he thinks I'm being an ex-police officer. What would I know about certain things? But I've been around. I've been traveled here and there. And I chose to leave the police force because I felt the leadership there did not meet the standards of excellence I had set for myself. It was far below that. It was all rife with corruption, and I didn't agree with that because I took an oath. So I thought the oath means something. So if I was going to do my tenure in the police force, it's according to that. We go to temple and pray and then take bribes. And that's not going to work with me. I thought, okay, let me work for a while. I told my father, I cannot stand all this. I have to leave, take a study leave. I want to go and study and leave this police force. I've done my fair share. That my dharma is done. I want to go ahead and do what I want, which is in the polymath field of polymath. That's why this leadership which you spoke today resonated very deeply with me. Because I felt in principles of integrity, leadership has to be very, very, very acutely aware of the high standards demanded of leadership. I think mostly the principles of John Maxwell, I'm very partial to him. he talks a lot about integrity, and
Yeah, that's John Maxwell. I quoted the first one was from him only.
yeah, yeah, so nice. Really, thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. So thank you. I think we finished, and we say thank you to all. Gratitude to Sir, and for everyone here at Maven.
I just want to say something.
Yes, yes, Rajveer. How are you?
In order to be a good leader, the first step, the first foundation, I'm not saying this, I'm not simply saying this. The first foundation in life is to have the, the good leadership is first to have good father and good mother, because they are the seeds of how we grew up, how we being raised, and how but most important is parents. The others as when they are siblings, when they are married, they are not yours anymore. So even if they try not to be attached to you. And I have a good experience. Life has taught me a lot of sugar, spice, and salt. So I kind of know about this. And then you have good mentors like founders, and you have good mentors like Navin Magic and everything else, who will actually create the legacy, so anyone can build their own legacy to create their own leader. So you would agree with me, Shivani? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
know you would
You
agree
know,
with me, and this is how I feel. Comes directly from my heart, because I saw today, I was reading the Gurdwara newsletter, and I was, the Gurdwara newsletter, and I thought it was for my siblings. The program is for a heart of my father, put into that,
yeah.
put into that, put into that program. Me and my father going
Okay,
going to organize a Gurdwara program. He asked me what I want. I
okay,
said I didn't ask for anything except a Gurdwara function, because the Gurdwara is the first leadership. The first leadership after your parents is your religion,
mm-hmm.
your sanskar and your religion. It
Yeah,
comes it comes from it comes from forefathers. It comes from Gurbani. It comes from actually Gurbani is our first guru, because
okay,
in the
yes,
womb in the womb we are already taught to be a
mm-hmm.
leader by listening to Gurbani. Then when we come up, it's our parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's our parents. So I say a good leader, good, bad, the ugly is taught by the father, taught by the father, the mother, the father, and the works. Like in Hinduism, they say Mata Pita Guru Devam. This
Yes,
this is what I learned from my Hindu Punjabi friends, and they taught me extra Sikhism, how to be spiritual in my not so spiritual life. So, um, I would like to thank my father and thank my mother and thank my caregiver and thank all those who have made me leaders, my founder, my and of course maybe magic also played a part of it. Thank you very much. The good, the bad, the ugly starts from father, father and mother, the greatest teacher.
For sure.
And you've come up with a very good topic. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Uh,
Thank you, Rajvi.
yeah,
From summing up what Shivani has been talking about. Thank you.
thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shivani.
Because,
It was awesome.
sorry, because
Yeah.
it will hurt anyone, but it actually came out from my heart.
Right. It was beautifully said. Thank you. So,
Thank
Shivani, I
you.
was thinking while you were saying that, like Sir also said, prior to prior to independence, the mills that were set up. So, what I feel that today, in today's time, people go in for quick fix solutions. So that is why though the companies don't grow as much as those old ones did. Don't you think so? There is more of
I
a
think,
trend
ma'am,
for
the core is that,
some.
as later Sir was also saying, and I have kind of summed it up in the last
Uh-huh,
line.
uh-huh.
I think it's, whether you say it is as consciously positive or character building, I think there is a huge gap in the entire group, in the entire that word, whatever you can call it. You can make it consciously positive, you can say spiritual awakening, or you can say the entire basic theme of character building. I will even
Right.
not go towards value and integrity, because the
Mm-hmm.
moment you touch on character and you work on that, you are groomed on that, I think the integrity and a lot of other value systems will fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
And where I also myself was debating being in this present times
Mm-hmm.
and having to deal with a lot of CEOs in today's time, and
Mm-hmm.
they have their own points to kind of counter you.
Right.
But then they came across Ratan Tata, and while one was kind of going through and studying things, you realize that, yeah, this guy is still there in his 80s and he's still holding, because his value systems and character was there.
Absolutely. That's what is needed.
Otherwise,
Can't
he would
get
have also kind of said, okay,
Mhm.
now whoever is handling will handle it, whatever way it has to handle. I mean, there was a sexual harassment case in TCS while Mr. Ratan Tata was there. And, nobody was taking action because he had left. He was in the board now. He was not in the managing. But he came back and he stepped in, and it's very recent thing. It's like three years for where, I mean, just while he was there. And he
Okay.
took the action and he got the management change and there was an action done.
Mhm.
So I think quick fix ho या ये इसको जो भी बोलिए, चाहे it is in the house also. I see that in the it starts from the house also.
Old school values always matter.
So it is,
Always
it's,
right.
I think we are not being, we last 40 years, I can say that people may not find it very good to hear from me because it will be the generation of my parents. I think that entire upbringing before that or post independence was uh, only towards name, fame, money, comfort, desires. Uh, I mean, I come from a belt of Uttar Pradesh. Now, there, the only thing which is taught to us was that, you get into IS, you get into IS, you get into IS. And whole, what I have that remembrance of getting into IS was that, oh, they command the place, they have a lot of comfort, they have a lot of power. Now, that was the thought process at that time, what I remember, now the same philosophy is towards the corporate, that you get into because you will be able to make money.
That's
Right.
so.
So even that also I debate that creation of wealth is not wrong. But creation of wealth with what purpose? Does that have a larger purpose or not? I mean, I will create wealth for myself first. It's a very human psychology, basic psychology, right? But to what extent? I mean, look at the personality of Dhirubhai Ambani. He, I know he's. There are talks about his business practices not being very good, right?
Mhm.
But still, if you see the kind of life he led in his dhoti and kurta, and the kind of life now his sons are leading by making that antilla, right? So that immediately shows you the change of character and the shift in the character, the leadership trail, the footsteps of leadership trail. You can call it any word right now.
Mhm.
So I think मतलब quick fix बोलिए जो भी बोलिए, but uh, like ma'am, I want to speak and I will be speaking. Look at the way blatantly today death is being advertised on TV. Had we ever
Right.
seen that while we were growing up? आप पॉलिसी बजा तो अगर आप स्पिरिचुअलिटी में जाइएगा, आप कॉन्शियसनेस में जाइएगा, अब अवेकनिंग में जाइएगा, so is it right vibrations? Is it right vibrations? I'm asking you, ma'am.
There are all kind of vibration, but yes, a lot of that needs to
What
be
are the,
overcome.
yeah, what is the energy which is then circulating? I have seen many very
Absolutely.
well renowned coaches and CEOs talking about
Mhm.
uncertainty, talking about
Mhm.
all these words. Now if we are going to vibrate uncertainty, then what will happen in reality? I mean, when we, as I mean, you are obviously a certified and a very well known practitioner. But if we are all the time vibrating this word, then what will happen to us in real? Because at the end, it is all a game of energy and vibrations, right? If I'm
Absolutely.
chanting Om, then Om is getting chanted. If all the time there is a vibration on the TV channel or in the mobile, what is the kind of news, what is the kind of words, what is the kind of stories that are being channelized? Because that vibration is coming to me, right?
Right.
I never grew up with this kind of, you know, uh, things, psychological impact while I was growing up. What I'm seeing today, and I myself, I do get affected. It's not that I don't get affected. I have to really
Mhm.
work hard on myself to divert myself. So I think it's a complete bankruptcy of value system and character.
Value system. That is very true. So thank you so much, Shivani. It was an awesome session. Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you,
you
ma'am.
everyone for
Thank you,
joining.
Maven. Thank you.